Hi, this is the Kenmore 158 1457. The serial number is 610-03895. And it is a very cool machine, and it's impressing me because it has a 1-amp motor. And that's not common with a machine made in the era that this was made, which is around 1980. It's very strong. A lot of the ones that you find now, even in the stores for hundreds of dollars, are 0.5, 0.6, or 0.8. It's 1 amp, which means it's strong. It'll do heavier fabrics than most machines, and it will sew longer. Now, the very, very, very cool thing about this machine, according to me, is it's not fussy. That means if you're at home, you have little kids, and they're bugging you, it's not something that's going to take time to prep. If you want to sew something to sell on Etsy, it's just going to keep on working, no fuss. It has all the stitches that you're going to need. It has straight stitches, zigzag, triple, back and forth zigzags. It has a bunch of stretch stitches. And another fabulous feature to me is that it's all color-coded. So you don't have to play with a bunch of dials to get what you're trying to accomplish. It tells you right here on the machine, and of course it comes with a full manual. This is original manual. But for instance, right now I'm doing a stretch stitch, and I have the dial set to that, and it is colored yellow. And if you look up here, this is the width. It shows you what you should do. It's yellow from 2 to 5. So that means this is the width. You can pick a 2, which is a small width. 3, 4, 5 gets larger and larger. It's recommending, actually telling you what to do to get your desired result. And then down here there's a knob on the side, and you can rotate that as well, and that's for the length. So this is the width up here at the top. The length is in a rotated dial on the side right by the reverse switch. This is the reverse. You push down and you push back up to go straight forward again. It's just a fully functioning, many, many, many kinds of stitches in this machine, and it's so straightforward. It's amazing. I love this machine quite a lot. As a matter of fact, it's free arm, so you can do small things in small places. You can slide the cover on, and you have a flatbed. So it's awesome. Now, something else is, this is a clear bobbin, and it comes in its bobbin case. Well, I mean, you put it in its bobbin case, and you do exactly what it says to put it in the manual, and you drop it in. It's magnetic. You put the clip down, and it stays right there. So you can see, like if you're sewing along and you're like, oh, I think I'm going to start, but I don't know if I have enough thread to finish my headband. You can just look right in there and go, okay, well, I'll put a new one in beforehand. And it's just, like I said, very, very straightforward. So I have this in. You just put this up. I always hold this closed, make sure it doesn't get caught. Push the flatbed right on, and this is your storage cabinet in there. I already have it all packed up for you with all the things you see in the photos. Now look at these amazing stitches. Straight stitches, this is zigzag. I've gone back and forth here, no problem. This is a blind stitch. You can do hems or decoration or whatever with that. And then right here I'm going to set the needle so I can spin the fabric for you. I'm starting a straight stitch right there, and I wanted to show you this. That's why I'm picking up the video right now, because I'm not going to touch it, and the machine is so strong that it's just going to move the fabric as it needs to be moved. Watch. Now, you know, that's a crazy smooth sound. I think this is an incredible machine, and again, just my opinion, so you just listen and check everything out yourself. There is, like I said, nothing fussy about this machine at all, so I'm going to change over. You might see the needle move. Let's see what else we have going here. Okay, so I changed it to, let's see, let's go back the other way. Here you go, this will be kind of easy to see. Alright, this is a different kind of zigzag here. It's in the green, so I'm going to choose a green up here for the width. And now this is a very firm knob to push. So is the tension disc, slider, sorry, and so is the reverse. And I've adjusted them that way because then they won't slip, and I think that's another very, very good thing. If you're at home and you're busy and you have a lot going on, you don't want to be sewing along, and I've had this happen before with other machines, and the tension slips, or something changes just because you're vibrating the machine and you're working it. So this is going to stay. So grasp it at the top and push it firmly one way or the other, whichever you want. Okay, so I have a green stitch. I'm in the green zone up here for the width. Over here by the reverse knob, I see that there's a pointer indicator pointing toward the green. and that is my length, and the length is how far this way the stitches are. So I'm going to do a medium one so you can see it and just get started. Look how solid and easy that is. It goes exactly where it's supposed to go. It doesn't go sideways or any weird way. It just is very, very strong, takes care of itself. But it's also a light machine. It has a handle at the top. You can take it to quilting classes, sewing classes, your friend's house for the weekend. It doesn't matter. Or it's easy just to store away. It just picks right out and stores away. I don't have a case for it. You just throw a little hand towel over the top of it, keep the dust out. No problem. Let's see, I'm going to tell you just one thing that's really important. And that is, as straightforward as this machine is, there's a lot of machines you can just thread. You just kind of lay the thread back and forth. That will cause it to bind underneath here if you do that. So in the instruction manual on page 15, when it tells you how to prepare the top thread, it very specifically says when you get past this top guide at the top, to hold the thread and then bring the front of the, hold the thread in back so you have some tension on it, and bring the thread down. This is another guide here that's a tension dot, and get this guide right there, and back up. If you don't hold the thread to give it pressure, it won't click in properly. So you're just kind of laying it in there all lazy, and it'll start to sew, and in 2 stitches it'll bind and make a knot down there. So just read this. It's a very simple, straightforward manual. Just do exactly what it says in the manual, okay? And I hope you buy it now today, or make a bid on Auction Sniper and sneak in at the last second, because this is certainly a machine well worth the money. Cosmetically, we've cleaned it, oiled it wherever we can. It's been a well taken care of machine. I think it had 2 owners. Let's see, there is a little rubbing in the front of the case right here. A couple of rubbings. Well, that's actually not a rubbing. The handle is a little yellowed. Not a big deal. It's just what happens with some plastic. Let's see. You know, just a couple little normal swirls and things like that. I don't see anything that affects the function whatsoever. The only one thing that is not as it was when it came from the factory is on the handle on the right hand side by the bobbin winder. It had a second spool pin. Now, because they're plastic and they stick straight up, it's broken off during the years. If for some reason you need 2 spool pins, the one that's back here, but I'm talking about the one on the handle, your local shop or eBay will have them. They're like $3. And it can actually take another spool because there's another pigtail loop right here to bring your thread down, and you could do 2 needles. So it's a fabulous machine in my estimation, and we've cleaned it, serviced it, taken as much care of it as we possibly can. We have the button holder with it, which is really, really good. I mean, it looks like an old-fashioned contraption, but again, it's all spoken about in the manual, and it makes some solid, tight buttonholes. So I hope you love it, and again, it's 1 amp, so when you're looking at everything else, please realize this one is clean, this one is serviced, this one has a high, strong motor, and we will ship it to you with insurance, return receipt, you know, so your signature's on it, so we know you received it, and we'll bubble wrap the daylights out of it. So we try very hard to make sure you're happy, and we hope you bid today.